West. Thank you to everybody for being here to the first Rectors Forum between Italy and Japan. We have a program which is really full, a full day of speeches and roundtables, so I don't want to take time to say nothing, because you will see the program little by little, and I will present to you the program one step. And I would like to ask to Ambassador and our Commissioner of Italian Pavilion, Mario Vattani, to come to the stage and to welcome you. We will have the first greetings from the podium, from the stage. The speeches today are in English. I hope that everybody is fine, but if you have problems, please tell, and we'll give some support from the side. And if you need anything, please, you have all our students of the program between the Commissariat and the Ministry of University and Research and CRUI here for you. Please, Ambassador Mario Vattani, for the first remarks.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Rossella. Welcome to the Italian Pavilion. We are delighted to have with us today, and for these few days, mission of the, the translation I give is the Association of Italian Universities. I hope you will agree with this translation, but the gist of the matter is that we have a very wide and rich representation of the Italian academic system, and we are delighted also to welcome today so many Japanese universities. This doesn't happen every day, and it happens because we are here for 6 months with a platform which is, of course, a building, a physical building, which we use to show our culture, of course, our regions, our high-quality products, but also our technology, our research, our engineering, and today also our academic system. So I'm very happy to welcome, in fact, through President Giannantoni, who is the president of the Association of Universities, this very important group. Now, we have a very effective collaboration with the CRUI. CRUI is the name. I'm explaining things because they are also seeing us outside. What is happening here is, in fact, followed also outside of the pavilion, thanks to our screen that we have on our piazza, which is our very important part of our pavilion, is also the piazza in front of our building. And we have this partnership, which was one of the first partnerships that was created when we started in the first phases of our organization towards participation of Italy in Expo. We signed with the Ministry of University and Research. We signed with the Association of Universities. We signed also with conservatories and Belle Arti institutes. And that is also a very operative agreement. As a matter of fact, yesterday and today we had a Baroque orchestra by students of the Conservatory of Palermo who played with us here. They also played together with Doshisha University. I mean, they connected with Doshisha University. These are very precious moments. This is the meaning of Expo. I mean, this is what it means to be in Osaka 2025 today. We also have some students here. We have, in all, we will have 40, more or less, 40 students from the whole of Italy. Not only those students who are specializing in Japanese language or culture. And that is also thanks to our agreement, and we are very thankful to the Ministry of University and Research for this. Now, the theme of Expo is designing future societies for our lives. So I would say that what we are doing today is probably the most typical activity that we should think of if we're thinking of the society of the future. We should think of the future generations. And of course, one of the issues for future generations is connectivity. And connectivity means that it has to actually function. Those agreements, 8 agreements have been signed today between Italian university, not today, sorry, in the last days. We are celebrating today the signing of 8 agreements between the top Italian university, top Japanese universities. These agreements range across so many sectors. So they have to live. I mean, they have to, these agreements, we hope to see some results in the next years from these agreements. What the institutions can do, what the government can do, what Italian institutions can do, like we also try to do, is to create the basis, to give the instruments that allow this kind of meeting to happen. But then, of course, we really count on you, on the university, and we count on our students. We are in a very interesting time. I was watching a program, a TV program here in Japan yesterday. So many things are changing. Until now, Japanese students tendentially would look at the Anglo-Saxon world when they think of their ryugaku, I mean their study abroad. Of course, there are issues of language that are important. But lately, if we see what's happening with the US system and what will happen with the US universities and the openness or not of these universities to foreign students, I was seeing that many students were being interviewed. And they were saying, well, yes, I was thinking of going to the US, but now I don't know. I'm thinking of Europe. Maybe I'm changing my plans. This is very important for us, for our university system, because one of the aims of our government, and in particular of the Ministry of University and Research, Minister Bernini always underlines this point, is that we have to make our system more known, because our university also range, I mean, our top universities range across many sectors, just as the Japanese ones. Many universities now are using, many Italian universities are using English also as a language, and they have complete courses in English. Italian is also a language which is studied in Japan, because it is connected not only to culture, to archaeology and so on, but also to fashion, to cuisine. Cuisine is one of the most increasing businesses today, and we can see it. So if we look at this situation, I think this is a really great opportunity, and we're very happy to be part of this as the Italian pavilion in Osaka. And so, let's work together on this. We will multiply these opportunities. Count on us. We count on you. And so thank you very much. And you're welcome once again, whenever you like, for this month.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Vattani. As you saw in the screen while speaking, You saw the MUR, our university, the map of the universities in Italian territory. And I hope that this beautiful map will be used also by Japanese students to decide which city, which kind of city culture also to live in, and not only to study at which university or conservatorio or Accademia di Belle Arti. So let's proceed, because we have a very full program with the opening remarks. And I call to the stage Professor Giovanna Iannantuoni, President of the Conference of Italian University Rectors and Rector of the University of Milano Bicocca. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's really a pleasure to be here and to represent the 85 universities that populates our beautiful country. So we are here, to talk about many things, but the most important thing is to talk about innovation, how we can innovate our societies, how we can improve the welfare of our societies, of our young people, of course, but not only, especially because Italy and Japan share, I think, many things together. First of all, we are aging societies. This is very nice because, of course, we take care of our elderly people and we take care of our past in general, our culture, heritage. And for this reason, it's very important that we share, of course, from health system to caring, to design a future, a technological future for our firms and the competitiveness of our firms. We need to improve competitiveness and to close the so-called technology gap with the big international players that, of course, we don't need to mention the US and China. We need to improve the capability of our firms to gain market share and to be leader in their fields. How we can do this? Well, Mario, the Ambassador Vattani, before gave the answer by networking. We need to build strong relation among our firms and our universities. Why I say so? Well, I'm an economist, and we teach to our students that growth, welfare, as the Nobel Prize, as Acemoglu would say, welfare of the societies depends from two engines. One engine is the so-called human capital. So education of the youngest is the key to have innovation and to have growth. And the second engine is innovation, and innovation comes from research. Well, we are very lucky, all the professors of Japanese universities and from Italian universities, because we live in universities where these two miracles, that is the education of the young people on one side and the research that leads to innovation on the other side, happen in our places. So we need to be very proud that these two things happen in our hands. So we cannot take these two things and just look at them, but we have to take in our hands and to foster growth and to foster innovation. And how we can do this? Today is a very important day because, is a part of a past history of friendship between Italy and Japan and between Italian universities and Japanese universities, but it's also a starting point. So I want that we really know each other better. We wait for you in Italy. All our 85 universities are open door to friendship, to co-project courses, PhD programs, research, innovation, build together infrastructure, research infrastructure. We are here to tell you we are really happy to work with you in all these issues. In particular, today, this beautiful day, we'll talk to you about, a chance that in Europe we have. This is a very important chance. That is to use the new infrastructures that we have built under Next Generation EU program. This program is very important. It is a very important program that under the pandemic, European Union launched in all our continent, and Italy had really a big part of it. And in particular, research university research had an important point. So we have 34 projects. Just to give you a number, almost 7 billion of euros. So very funded on all the frontier research, from elderly society to smart city, from quantum technology to high-performing computer, from technology applied to agriculture to health. So it's really, plenty of technology applied to what is important for the future of our societies. So what is really crucial is that you have to know that in all these programs, we have universities, we have private companies, and we have institutions. Now that this project comes to an end, these projects are open to international networking. So we wait for you to join us by using this very, very new and the frontier research infrastructure to do these two miracles. That is to have the youngest, more educated for the future time that they have to face, future time that are really a lot fast changing because of because of artificial intelligence changes, because of all the revolutions that we know that is happening. And so we can build, I repeat, education together, but also we can build innovation for our private companies. And we have, the proud to be able to do this now. So please, come to Italy, come to visit us. We are here, so many rectors, and this is really a sign that Italy, loves Japan, and that we really are keen in working with you in building up the future together. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Giannantoni. And I ask to Professor Masato Fujisawa, who is Vice President of the Japan Association of National Universities and President of the Kobe University, to give his remarks.
Buongiorno, ladies and gentlemen, and to the President of the Italian and the Japanese University and all concerned. My name is Fujisawa, Vice President of Japanese Association of National Universities, and also the President of Kobe Universities. It is a great honor for me to have this opportunity to address you at the opening of the first Italian-Japanese Rectors Forum. First of all, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the Council of Italian University Rectors, Italian embassies, and all those involved in the Italian pavilion at the Expo 2025, Osaka, for their great effort in the organizing this forum. I would like to express my deep respect for this valuable opportunity to build academic and research exchange between Japan and Italy. Over the years, Japan and Italy have deepened mutual exchange, education, science, and technologies. According to the 2022 survey on inter-university exchange agreement with the foreign university conducted by the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science, and Technology, there are 480 exchange agreements between Japanese and national universities and Italian universities. It shows an active flow of the students and researchers. As for student exchange, according to the statistics from the Japan Student Service Organizing as of May 2024, 820 Italian students are living in Japan, and 1,642 Japanese students studying in Italy as of May 2023. They are enrolled in education and research institutions in various parts of the two countries, and they have brought fruitful results in various fields of study. Significantly, there is ongoing exchange between Japan and Italy. Kobe University, of which I am now president, has concluded student exchange agreement with Foscari University of Venice, the University of Turin, and the alma mater University of Bologna, and accept around 20 Italian students annually, while at the same time, we send about 10 of our university students to Italy every year. In addition, including inter-departmental agreement at the undergraduate and graduate levels, we cooperate with a total of 14 university and research institutions, including the University of Catania, the University of Federico II of Naples, and the University of Florence. Many students who have completed their study abroad program have told us that although they were bewildered by the difference in the language, cultures, and values, they were fascinated by the warmth of the Italian people, the delicious food, and climate, and they spent fulfilling days filled with academy of study and friendship. In the area of academic exchange, fruitful cooperation between Japan and Italy has developed through joint research and symposium in a wide range of fields. For example, advanced cancer biology research is being conducted in the International Joint Laboratory co-funded by the Institute Fondazione Oncologica Molecolare ETS and Kyoto University. Kobe University also participated in Biomedical Innovation Cluster, one of the largest biomedical clusters in Japan, established by Kobe City. It is involved in the biomanufacturing, medical device development, and drug discoveries. The cluster has signed a collaboration agreement with major medical cluster in 4 European countries, including Italy, and is expanding international research and developments. Japan is currently, as you know, facing the major change due to the declining birth rate. It means that the shrinking of the human resources that is the driving force behind the promotion of science and technology and the development of the economy and industry in our countries. In these times, a national university consists of 84 universities, must fulfill their responsibility at the center of knowledge that continue to boldly and reliably create new knowledge and contribute to the transformation of the society. So, in March 2025, JANU released the future vision of Japan National Universities, proposing educational policies that will be necessary by 2035. One of its goals is to increase the ratio of foreign students at national university to up to 30% for globalization society in 2040. In this point, I sincerely hope that as a joint research center between Japan and Italy will be steadily expanding in various fields where Italy leads the world, and academic, the student exchange between two countries will open up new horizons. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Professor Fujisawa. I call to the stage Professor Antonio Zoccoli, President of the Council of the Presidents of Public Research Institutions and President of National Institute of Nuclear Physics. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a real pleasure to be here at the Italian higher education system in Osaka. I'm here to represent the Italian research area. As you know, in Italy, research is performed by university, but also by research institution. We have 19 research institutions. The biggest one is a CNR, which is performing a lot of research together with the universities. Now, we are in a change of era. I think the world is changing rapidly on the political point of view, on the economical point of view, on the technological point of view. So if we have to design the society of the future, I don't know where we will end up, which will be the society driven by politics, economics, and technologies. But I think that research must play a major role in that, in defining our future. And in order to do that, it is important to have an international cooperation. This is part of the DNA of the research in Italy. And we have cooperation, international cooperation, spread among overall the world in many, many different fields. Concerning my institution, the National Institute of Nuclear Physics, we are cooperating with the biggest research lab in Japan in the field, like Keck in Tokyo and Kamiokande. There we are working on high energy physics, on particle physics, and to study the neutrino properties. And these are very effective cooperation, and here we may exploit the unicity of the research infrastructure in Japan, and vice versa, we have Japanese colleagues working in Italy. We are facing, again, also here, a change of era. We are discussing the next biggest acceleration in the world at CERN. We are looking for the new gravitational waves infrastructure, and Italy is a candidate to host Einstein telescope. And in this field, the two prime ministers from Japan and Italy have signed an agreement to finance two projects. One is, again, on gravitational wave. The second one is on innovation battery with CNR. So again, this is a message that we must cooperate between our countries in high technologies. As Giovanna Iannantuoni told us, Italy made a huge investment, I think the biggest investment on research after the Second World War. This is the Next Generation EU Fund, the so-called PNRR, which is a 3-year project, more than 70 billion of euros invested, where we try to upgrade most of our research infrastructure. I think that at the end of this year, when this program will end up, Italy will have a real very good and very effective research infrastructure which might attract international cooperation. We invested in many different fields, so health, agritech, mobility, energy, cultural heritage, and also on investing on emerging technology as computing, AI, quantum, and so on. I don't do the full list. But we may say that Italy is now one of the most advanced country in the field, in many different fields, and among them in research infrastructure. So I think it's the time to strengthen the cooperation between our country and in particular Japan, but also with all our countries of the world, because we cannot push the frontier of knowledge, the frontier of technology without international cooperation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Zoccoli. And I want only to add one thing, which is the presence of the National Research Center for the opening of our cultural and scientific program in April. So they were really brave to open the program at the beginning of this Expo experience. And we have their presence along all of the months, working also with the stakeholders from Japan. And I give now the stage to Professor Shoji Asai. Thank you very much, Professor Asai, General Director of High Energy Accelerator Research Organization, KEC.
Buongiorno. I'm particle physicist, so I will show the example of the collaboration between Italy and Japan. So we have already the good collaboration in the physics now. We are collaborator of the LHC, Geneva, and also the Super KEKB in Tsukuba, Hyper Kamiokande, this is Super Kamiokande, and Grand Sasso dark matter search, and gravitational wave search, and also the future project we are discussing now. Next page, please. Sorry, next page, please. Okay, so the Super KEKB is probe the new phenomena using quarks. So the Super KEKB is the highest luminosity obtained 5 times 10 to 34. You cannot understand these values, but this value is the highest value. So the luminosity frontier, the Super KEKB, since nanobeam technology, now we are squeezing the beams half size of the COVID-19 virus. Very small size beam is and squeezing and collide. Then we can obtain such high luminosities. So it is a frontier of the technologies. So the nanobeam becomes more standard technology in the futures. So the Super KEKB, more than 1,000 scientists joined from the worldwide, but about 10% from the Italy's, big portion from the Italy's. Thank you very much for the big contribution. And also you can see, so the young Italian scientists joined these programs and enjoy the science. Next page, please. And also the T2K and Hyper Kamiokande project. This project started about 5 years ago, University of Tokyo and also the KK. And also the Italy joined this program about 2 years ago. So you are here. So, the sign and the collaboration. And thank you very much, a big collaboration with this one. And the dome is very big, 70 meters of the diameters, and also depth is also 70 meters. Very big water chunk of detectors. And now the dome will be ready within 1 month. Next month, we will have a ceremony for the make of these domes. And also the mass production of the phototubes and also the electronics developed ongoing now. And also the budget schedule is also under control now. So of course, we have some inflation in Japan, but also everything is controlled now. So that we will take data taking about 2028 early stages. So I hope that we discover the CP violation maybe around 2032. So I think maybe I hope that we can understand the origin of the matter in our universe. So I think maybe that let's extend collaboration. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Asai. And we close this first part of remarks with Professor Shinsuke Okada. Thank you, who is Director of International Cooperation, International Science and Technology Policy Division, and Science and Technology Policy Bureau. Sorry for the long name.
Good morning, everyone. So, Ambassador Mario Battagni, distinguished guests. I'm Shinsuke Okada, Director for International Cooperation, Science and Technology Bureau of Next, Japan. It's a great honor to be here this memorable first Italian and Japanese Rectors Forum. I am especially pleased that this academic dialogue is taking place during Expo 2025 Osaka. It symbolizes the deep friendship and cooperation between our two countries. I would like to sincerely thank Ambassador Battagni, President Yanatuni, and President Zoccoli for their dedicated effort in organizing this event. And I'd like to say thank you for President Fujisawa and General Director Asai for attending this important meeting. I also extend my warm appreciation to the many university rectors and presidents from both countries being here today. Japan and Italy are important members of the G7 and strategic partners. In 2024, our leaders announced the Japan-Italy Action Plan. It provides a roadmap for deeper collaboration across many fields, including security, economy, culture, and science and technology. Education and research areas are key pillars of this plan and carry high expectations. At MEX, we have long promoted cooperation with Italy. In May 2023, MEXT and the Italian Ministry of University and Research signed a memorandum of cooperation in science and technology. Following this, then Minister Moriyama met with Minister Berlini in Rome last year, then confirmed collaboration in two important areas, energy storage and gravitational waves. A good example of our partnership is the collaboration between INFN, the University of Tokyo, and KEK, as Professor Azai explained. They are advancing internationally significant projects such as Hypo Kamiokande and Kagura project. Active exchanges are also taking place in the realm of inter-university cooperation. There are currently about 1,000 active inter-university agreements between two countries, and I understand that the new memorandum of understanding on academic and cultural exchange will also be signed today. These efforts will enhance the quality and global competitiveness of higher education in both countries. Looking ahead, there is a great potential for further cooperation. Today's forum highlights topics such as cultural heritage, quantum science, environment, energy, AI, and medical research. We hope that academic knowledge will continue to contribute to the prosperity of our society and solving global challenges. Collaboration between universities and research institutions, along with the exchange of researchers and students, forms a strong foundation for our bilateral relationship. I sincerely hope that today's dialogue will lead to even deeper cooperation between Japan and Italy. Thank you very much.
Grazie. Thank you very much, Professor Okada. And thank you to all the representatives who give their welcome to all of you this morning. We go into the second part of this morning, which is the development of what we are saying in this first part. And it's a small but very important ceremony to sign and to show the agreements that we signed in these last days. So I would like to ask to Commissioner Vatani, please come to the stage, to Professor Ian Antuoni. Maybe it's better if we remove also this one, Marco? Se no non ci stanno. And I call also on the stage Professor Fujisawa and Professor Okada, please, to say and give your welcome to the universities, Italian and Japanese universities, who signed the last agreements. I will call to the stage the representatives of each university, and then we will have a final photo all together. So I call Professor Tiziana Lipiello, Rector of the Ca' University of Venice first, and the Japanese partner, Professor Tatsuo Kinashi of the Kansai Medical University, to present the Memorandum of Understanding just signed. Thank you very much. And then, please, Professor Antonella Polimeni, Rector of Sapienza University of Rome, and a Japanese partner who is also Professor Kinashi of the Kansai Medical University, also for the sign of the Memorandum of Understanding. And then we have Professor Alessandra Petrucci of the University of Florence. Thank you. You should enlarge a little bit, yes, and have in the center with Professor Hiroyuki Sakuragi of the Osaka Metropolitan University. Thank you very much. I'm not in the right place. And again, another assignment that we had between the University of Florence, Alessandra Petrucci, Rector of the University of Florence, and Professor Motohiro Tsuchiya of the Keio University. I don't know if... Yes, please. Yes, do you have your agreement signed? With Florence, yes. We have both with Florence. Professor Roberta Di Pietra of the University of Siena and Professor Katsumata Akitoshi of the Asahi University, who signed an addendum to Framework Agreement of Academic Cooperation. The stage is really small. No, we are not all. Wait a moment. We have again between the University of Siena and the University of Shimonoseki City, Professor Chang Wan-han. No? Yes? He's coming. Who signed a memorandum of understanding between the universities. And a student exchange agreement. I don't know if I forgot somebody. We are all? Yes. See, maybe more in a circle and maybe a little bit. Forse un po' più a sinistra. If you can move a little bit on the left, please. Okay.
I'm sorry, but this is a very important
Yes.
picture, because at the end of Expo, they always ask us, yes, but what did you do for 6 months? What were you doing? What is the result? This is a very important result already.
Thank you very much. I think this is only the starting point of a collaboration because all these agreements have to be fulfilled. And I think we have to close this morning. I'm not sure if I'm in the right moment, but maybe Professor Tiziana Lipiello want to come to the stage because I think she has something to say and to announce. No? To close this morning of very concrete and real developments of all the greetings we had in the opening remarks, Professor Tiziana Lipiello, of Rector of Ca' Foscari University, has some important announcements to say.
I would like to call here Professor Giuseppe Pezzotti. If you can come here. From Kansai Medical University. Yes, because I have honorary fellowship to give to you from our university for the contribution you gave these years in the development of our scientific collaboration with Japanese universities and lastly with Kansai Medical University. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I don't know if you need 1 minute to take rest, but time is really tight, so if you permit me, we proceed with the program. We start the first round table of this morning, and I ask to Professor Riccardo Pietrabissa, Rector of University School of Advanced Studies of Pavia, to come. He will be the moderator of this morning, so I give him the floor for the panel, and I ask him to present the panelists. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this invitation. It's a great pleasure for me to give the starting point of this day of agreement between Italian and Japanese universities. The round table is divided in 3 panels, and the main topic is to discuss together how to approach 2 important things. The first is how to manage the global changes that now we are facing, because when we talk about future, one of the questions is how far is the future? The future is more near than in the past, so the acceleration, the transition is very fast, and we have to face global challenges. The second point is how to foster research results in order to obtain impact in the society and to benefit the stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders of research? Let me say the planet is the main stakeholder of our research, and we can consider both companies and institutions, citizens and global. So we like to discuss together from Italian and Japanese side these points, and the round table is divided in 3 panels focusing on humanities, on quantum, and on sustainability. So I want to invite first the panelists of the first panel, which is called Humanities, Cultural Heritage, Innovation and Creativity. Let me invite Professor Tomoji Tabata from, please, Professor Tabata, from the Graduate School of Humanities, University of Osaka. Professor Antonella Polimeni, which is Rector of Sapienza University of Rome, and Professor Tiziana Lipiello, Rector, please, you can sit, which is Rector of Ca' Foscari University of Venice. Professor Masayoshi Ishida, who is Dean of the College of Gastronomy Management of the Ritsumeikan University, and Professor Naoki Kondo, who is Vice President of the Kyoto University of Foreign Studies. Please. So you know you have a very short time for this presentation, only 5 minutes each, and we can have a discussion or a debate from the floor. So I ask Professor Tomoji Tabata for his first speech, please.
Right, thank you very much, Professor Pietrabissa, for the kind introduction. Hello, everyone. It is a great honor for me to be given this opportunity to participate in this distinguished forum. In keeping with the main themes of discussion, I would like to take a moment to briefly introduce my area of specialization, that is digital humanities. Digital humanities, DH, is an interdisciplinary field that seeks to reconfigure the methodologies for acquiring, interpreting, comparing, referencing, and representing humanistic knowledge through the integration of traditional humanities scholarship and digital technology. In particular, DH draws upon advanced modeling, advanced techniques in natural language processing and mathematical modeling and machine learning to develop new methods for interpreting cultural and historical artifacts, including texts, images, and material objects. These approaches make it possible to analyze texts beyond the limitations of print or manuscript media, and to visualize latent patterns in humanistic data. The origins of DH can be traced back to the pioneering work of Father Roberto Busa. Here he is. He's an Italian Jesuit priest. Well, his pioneering work started in 1940s with the support of IBM. On the left-hand side of the slide, you can see Father Busa engaged in compiling the first computerized concordance of the works of Thomas Aquinas, a project involving approximately 10 million words, known as the Index Thomisticus. His efforts marked the beginning of computational approaches in the humanities. And digital methods have also made vital contributions to the preservation of historical resources, and many of which are at risk of deterioration over time. A notable example is the decipherment of handwritten texts. In Japan, pre-modern manuscripts and classical documents, many of which contain so-called kuzushiji. If you take a look at the bottom right, you can see a typical kuzushijis. So kuzushijis are cursive-style characters or handwritten characters. So such documents remain largely unexamined due to the difficulty of reading these characters. As shown in the slide, kuzushiji characters present considerable challenges to modern readers. So these manuscripts are carefully transmitted through generations, possess immense cultural and historical significance. By facilitating their decipherment, digital humanities enables scholars and students to recover and revitalize neglected aspects of our cultural heritage and intellectual history. Another defining feature of DH is its methodological interdisciplinarity, which we might think of as a methodological commons that you can see bottom center in my slide. So methodological commons is a collaborative framework that brings together diverse academic disciplines across cultural and geographical boundaries. Illustrative example of this can be seen in the work of a young Italian scholar. Please show the second slide. Page 2. Yes. So young Italian scholar pursuing his PhD under my supervision. And this is Mr. Gabriele Camilleri, whose research applies computational analysis to multiple translations of Gabriele D'Annunzio's Il Trionfo della Morte, The Triumph of Death. D'Annunzio's works were introduced to Japan as early as the Meiji era. It's some 120 years ago, particularly by scholars such as Weather Bin, and gained wide readership through English, French, and German translations. Among his works, The Triumph of Death had a profound influence on the Japanese literary scene, and it is even referenced in the writings of Natsume Soseki. Mr. Camilleri's project uses computational models to reveal how D'Annunzio's work was interpreted and received in Japan, and promising to uncover new insights into literary transmission and intercultural appreciation. This is all. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Professor Tabata, particularly for presented this multidisciplinary approach. So thank you very much. Now, Professor Polimeni and Professor Lipiello will present a cultural heritage innovation for next generation sustainable society project changes. I give the floor to Professor Polimeni. Please, Antonella.
Thank you, Professor Peter Bissa, dear authorities, dear colleagues, dear guests, ladies and gentlemen. Change stands for Cultural Heritage Active Innovation for Next-Gen Sustainable Society. The video? Okay. Society. This title encapsulates the ambition of one of the largest scale research and innovation programs ever found in Italy for this key sector. Change puts Italy's rich cultural heritage at the center of inter- and transdisciplinary research aimed at developing innovative technologies and methodologies for its knowledge, preservation, and fruition. At the same time, with change, culture becomes a key element in fostering ecological, economic, and social sustainability, especially at the time of massive technological and societal transformation. Founded by the Ministry of University and Research, ENSA is based on an integrated approach that combines academic research, advanced technologies, and public-private partnership among universities, research institutions, and private companies. The Sapienza University of Rome has a special role in this project. Sapienza was in fact at the forefront in building the partnership back in 2022 when the ministry published an open call programs to be found through National Recovery and Resilience Plan and has assumed a leading role ever since. Sapienza's commitment in change lies in our belief that cultural heritage and the humanities are strategic areas to foster systemic change, not only because they are one of Italy's unique and identifying assets, not only because cultural heritage has high capacity to create wealth and spillover economic impacts, but also, and above all, because without culture, no change can be truly sustainable over time. Change was initially born to create a nationwide collaborative network for innovation in this sector. However, over the time, we are becoming more and more convinced that the challenges we are facing and the solution we are developing can benefit from an ever broader exchange with international partners and be beneficial for them in turn. This is about the place culture, as in our vision of the future, culture is a dimension of sustainable development we must collectively bring forward. This is my closing remark today. And so, Tiziana.
So, good morning, everyone, again. And first of all, let me thank the Commissioner and Ambassador Mario Vattani for giving us this opportunity. I would like to take this opportunity also to thank Professor Rossella Menegazzo, who worked a lot with us, and Marina Cavallini from CRUI, because they have done a very difficult job to organize this event. It is an opportunity to meet Japanese presidents and Japanese professors, to be with you today, and this is an occasion to strengthen our collaborations with Italian universities. So, as Professor Polimeni said, Changes is the only project on cultural heritage in the Next Generation U project in Italy. So it is, for us, it is a very important project because it is the only one. It is a national project. The hub is in Sapienza, but we have other affiliated universities, among whom Ca' Foscari University of Venice, but also Florence, Roma 3, Turin, and Fondazione Sicilia, and then University of Padua, Trieste, Udine, and Verona. So it is a collaborative project, and we also collaborate with companies, not only with universities. And what is the aim of this project? The aim of this project is to build a sustainable future in cultural heritage for the young generation, and also to build knowledge transfer projects for the citizens. So what we want to do is to have sustainable tourism, for instance, our spoke is number 9. It is focuses on cultural heritage, sustainable tourism, and citizenship, which means to involve the citizens in narrating their stories about our cultural heritage. So I don't have much time here, but I hope we can develop some dialogues on cultural heritage, because also Japanese culture is very rich, and we would like to have more collaboration with Japanese universities on cultural heritage, on innovation of cultural heritage, and also on tourism. And a final word on the approach we use. It is a bottom-up approach. We involve the students and the citizens, and this is very important for us to build sustainable tourism and also to build a new storytelling of our cultural heritage, starting from the stories of the citizens. Thank you very much.
Thank you both. This is, I think, is an amazing example of what means a national program. It's a partnership, very important. It's also the methodology, I think, could be exported in other countries, because it's something new for, I think, everyone. So thank you again. I give the floor to Professor Masayoshi Ishida, who is Dean of the College of Gastronomy Management della Ritsumeikan University.
Thank you very much for my invitation for this very important meeting. My name is Masayoshi Ishida. I'm a Dean of the College of Gastronomy Management at Ritsumeikan University. It's a true honor to be invited to such a meaningful gathering today. Thank you very much for having me. Before I begin, I must confess something. I actually speak Italian pretty well, so speaking English is, I'm translating from Italian, so. Our College of Gastronomy Management was established in 2018 as Japan's first comprehensive academic faculty dedicated entirely to food and gastronomy. Now in our eighth year, we are proud to be home to 1,500 students who study every aspect of gastronomy. In the past, food-related education in Japan existed only in parts. Within agricultural factories, home economies, or livestock science departments. But a faculty that integrates all aspects of food culture, food science, and food business had ever been attempted. Founding such a faculty was a bold and difficult challenge in Japan. The inspiration behind our new faculty came from the concept of gastronomic sciences developed by the University of Gastronomic Sciences, established by Slow Food in Italy. In 2017, we signed an official agreement between our two universities, and since then, we have exchanged students and professors. For example, every September, we send around 20 students on a 2-week educational journey through northern Italy. They visit cities like Florence, Bologna, Modena, and Torino, and complete a short intensive course at the University of Gastronomy Sciences. For many of our students, it's a life-changing experience. Another exciting collaboration is with the Associazione Verace Pizza Napoletana di Napoli. We are proud to run an official AVPN school within our faculty. In fact, when our faculty was founded, AVPN gifted us a real Napolitan wood-fired oven. It was such big news in Italy that ANSA covered the story of the world's first professor pizza award in our university. Our pizza activities were even featured on TG5 and Striscia la Notizia. Avete visto? Forse. Well, I must say the hosts commented that one of our professors resembled an Italian news presenter. Mentana. Let me share one thing exciting update, the K collection. This is a massive archive of over 250,000 books, magazines, and historical documents on Japanese cuisine and food culture. It was built up over 30 years by a private company of Osaka, and this year it was entrusted to our faculty. We are currently organizing the materials, but soon the world's largest collection of washoku, Japanese gastronomy, will be open to the public right on our campus. As you know, Japan is experiencing an unprecedented inbound tourism boom, and the interest in Japanese food culture is stronger than ever. Through this collection, we hope to share accurate, in-depth knowledge about Japanese food within the world. We also hope to welcome many researchers, including from Italy, to work with us and explore the richness of Japanese gastronomy. Our campus is located in Shiga, about 20 minutes from Kyoto, in a beautiful green setting with over 50,000 students. I warmly invite you to visit us one day. I look forward to discussing opportunities for collaborations, exchange, and joint research between our faculty and yours. And when you do come, we'll be sure to bake you some pizza napoletana. So, thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Ishida. We agree that gastronomy has a very large impact in the quality of our life. I think that everyone agrees about it. The last panelist is Professor Naoki Kondo, who is Vice President of the Kyoto University of Foreign Studies. Please.
'Buongiorno a tutti. My name is Naoki Kondo, Vice President of Kyoto University of Foreign Studies. I'm also a member of the Italian department, professore di italiano. Studioso della cultura napoletana, canzone napoletana, teatro napoletano. So I'm honored to have the opportunity to speak here at the Italian pavilion. Dunque, Kyoto University of Foreign Studies is a private university founded in Kyoto in 1947. At that time, Japan was only 2 years removed from the end of the World War II. The founder believes that the reason for Japan's unfortunate entry into the war was the lack of communication with other countries. So he established a foreign language university where students could learn practical English. This aspiration lives on in the founding spirit of Pax Mundi per Linguas. Pax Mundi per Latino, Pax Mundi per Linguas. The hope is that peace in the world can be achieved not by imposing one's own language and values, but by knowing the language and respecting the culture of others. This idea is now more relevant than ever in today's world of constant conflict. Since then, the number of departments dedicated to the study of foreign languages and cultures has grown to include Spanish, French, German, Brazilian Portuguese, Chinese, Japanese, Italian, and Russian. In addition to practical language training, our university is also known for its emphasis on community, both on and off campus. To give a concrete example, each of the departments mentioned above organizes an annual public speaking competition at the university. The participants are students from different regions from Hokkaido to Okinawa who compete by sharing their language skills and love for foreign languages. The important thing is that students from these different universities come together and form a community that transcends their universities and the birth of the new friendships. Of course, at the end of this year, there will also be an Italian language speaking competition, maybe first Saturday of December. So we hope you will come to our university and listen to the young people's love for Italy. Now, this keyword community not only refers to teaching of foreign languages, but also to various seminars engaged in activities that involve communities outside the university. Today, we would like to introduce you to the activities of one such seminar, Professor Kawakami's seminar in the Department of Global Tourism. Based in the small town of Mihama in Wakayama Prefecture, the Kawakami seminar investigates the causes of decline of these former fishing villages and support activities to revitalize the community. Among the many concrete results of this small but successful project, we commissioned Imanishi Confectionery, a long-established Kyoto confectioner, to market sweets inspired by the beautiful sea of Mihama town. If that were all, it could be considered a variation of problem-based learning, PBL, offered at also other universities. However, the main purpose of the seminar lies elsewhere. Mihama-cho is a port city that has sent a large number of immigrants, especially to Canada, since the late 19th century. Professor Kawakami is an anthropologist who studies East Asian immigrants in North America, so you can understand that the activities of the seminar are not just focused on product development for local village revitalization, but were typical of a foreign language university that connects multiple communities and histories. A large fishing boat owned by a Japanese immigrant from Mihama-cho is on display at the Campbell River Museum in Vancouver Island. The Western-style building that an immigrant built after returning to Japan is now the Canada Museum, a place of remembrance that connects a small village in Wakayama with Canada. Seminar student did the English translation of the museum's brochure. On May 17th, one of our students joined representatives from Mihama City Hall, NPO Hinomisaki, Amerikamura, and North Island College to participate in Canadian National Day for this expo. These educational and research activities that go beyond our campus, engage with the local community, and connect multiple communities are our Pax Mundi. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much. I want to thank every one of you because we are in time. So thank you very much for this. And we have some time for question or some debate. Please. Sì. No, he speaks very, very good Italian indeed, so. No. Anyway, okay. You should have a microphone. He is asking, yes, you can invite your colleague.
No, il problema è che se parlo in italiano che alcuni giapponesi che non capiscono, allora per questo forse avete deciso di fare in inglese, no?
Please. Okay, you can
allora posso
invite
chiamare mia collega che mi darà...
Yes,
sì.
please.
Kawakami-san, onegai shimasu.
Welcome. Okay. So, I'd like to open for question or for debate on the presentation of our panelists. If there is some question from the floor. I believe that there is a common fil rouge from your presentation with this mixing mixing and connection between humanities and culture and everything that is normally not considered scientific or technological, that now is very much including technological aspects and scientific aspects. And this question that is arising over the world is something that for us became normal in research, but is very far from an educational program. So what about the future of our researchers if you continue to teach only disciplines and not thematic problem or challenges? You understood our question? It's a general for every of you. Who want to start? You should have the microphone in your hand. Okay, thank you.
So, excuse me. So
yes.
you're saying the impact of new technologies, for example, right? It's true. The advent of generative AI has brought real tectonic change in various disciplines, humanities included, and we are thinking how we should go hand in hand with such new technologies, and probably we are trying hard to get close to the use of such technologies like generative AI or large language models. And actually, we also, I think the advent of such technologies is a kind of a threat to traditional scholarship, but also we gain considerable benefits from using such technologies. Like well, in my case, I mentioned the handwritten character recognition or decipherment of kuzushiji, cursive characters. So we have gained a huge benefits from such large language models. Yes.
Thank you, Tiziana.
Thank you. Thank you for these questions. We all speak about interdisciplinary, as you all mentioned, and I think it is very crucial subject today, especially for humanities and cultural heritage. Of course, we need innovation and we need technology, but in research, it is not so easy to have a practical applications of technology and humanities. And it is very difficult to convince our colleagues in sciences to work with the humanities. So there are some colleagues who are very committed, but only few of them. And it is very difficult to build interdisciplinary programs where hard sciences meet humanities. But I think this is the only way to save the humanities today, to combine technology, sciences with humanities. And as far as I know, at least in our country, but in general in Europe, the reason why it is difficult to convince the colleagues in working together, especially the scientists, is that they don't see their research result recognized. So in the evaluation of their research, I don't know in Japan, if you recognize the efforts in research in interdisciplinary subjects. So this is my question to you. How does it work in Japan? Because in Italy, we have this problem. The evaluation system does not recognize interdisciplinary research. Because of course, if you work in an interdisciplinary way, your research is different and simpler. And in a way, it is low, the level is not so high because you have to start from the basis, So I would like to ask you, how is in Japan? Does the government really encourages you, incentivize to interdisciplinary programs and research?
Please.
So, I try to speak in English. It's very hard for me. So. Our faculty of gastronomy is in base very interdisciplinary one. So we have also the little bit of conflict of the difference of thought for example, to make kitchen systems. There is a science people is very influenced by the high hygienic salt. We can't leave hair in the kitchen, for example. It's big scandal for them. But for the other researchers of anthropologists, for example, it's not many matter. It's not very important. We also have a dried whole head of African or Japanese people, I don't know, on the table. We don't care. So interdisciplinary is a big problem for us because we have a lot of modern way of thinking. And the key of interdisciplinarity in the faculty, like our reality, will be also resolved by high technical system of traduction. No, interpretation. For example, we are using Zoom system with automatic translate system. Is working well. We are talking in a very different language in the world. This is explained by the Old Testament that was caused by the Babel's Tower. So that was a cursed period of difference of the language, I think. But we are finally resolving this big problem of humanity. Our God probably is permitted us to unify again with only one language realized by IT system, I think.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Professor Kondo.
So そのインターディシプリナリティっていうところと、それからテクノロジーとヒューマニティが関わるってところと少し分けて考えた方がいいように思うんですね。
I think it's important to think differently. One is think about the interdisciplinarity, and the other thing is the technology to humanity. So two different themes. I think that it is important to think separately as two topics.
例えばそのインターディシプリナリティっていうのは、僕はもともとイタリア文学の研究者でして、今カンツォ・ナポレターナとかやってますけど、もともとアリオスとタッソを研究してまして、王道のイタリア文学をやってたんですね。でそれも今やイタリアでもそうでしたけど、イタリアならアリオスとやってます、タッソやってますって言えばそれだけ評価されると思うんです。
Speaking of interdisciplinarity, my major specialty is Italian literature, and Ariosto and Gasto. Gasto. Sorry. So he's been studying about Italian literature, and it's been if you focus on one literature, people tend to kind of evaluate about that particular literature pieces.
ただ日本でタッソ、アリオスト誰も知らないんですよ。
However, in Japan, most of the people don't know anything about Tasso and Arios.
そうするとタッソ、アリオストって何っていうのを紹介するためには、イタリア文学の中だけで考えてはダメで、社会とかさまざまなアプローチが必要になってきます。
So he has to start in Japan. He has to start from explaining the background of the Tasso and Arios, so such as literature, history, and culture.
だから日本でイタリア文学を研究するということは、もうダンテは別にしてですけれども、もう不可避的にインターディシプリナリティにならざるを得ない。
So the meaning of studying about Italian literature in Japan itself is interdisciplinary act, he thinks.
で科学の方はちょっと長くなっちゃってすいません科学とヒューマニティーズの問題というのはまた結構深刻で、僕は文学研究者ですけど外国語大学で働いてます。
In terms of the relationship between science and technology, ですよね? No, science? Is that right? Technology, right. So I work at the University of Foreign Studies.
で先ほど石田さんが言ったように、もう Zoom 会議に翻訳ソフト出るから、外国語を勉強する意味はあるのかっていうのが多分世界中の人が思ってると思います。
So our university has many students studying about foreign languages, but as Professor Ishida said, you already see all these translated languages on Zoom, so many students have come to feel that what's the point of studying about foreign languages?
おそらく30年前ほどの意味はなくなってきてるし、今後もっとなくなっていくと思います。
So the meaning of learning the foreign languages in Japan has been changing compared to the time he learned foreign languages 30 years ago.
そこでうちの大学が最近やっているのはコミュニティ通訳という、コースです。
So we, as a foreign language university, we shifted our focus to community interpretation and community translation. Yes.
つまり外国から来る旅行者の方々、日本語がわからない、日本人は英語がわからない、そういう間に入ってプロの通訳じゃないんですけども、病院とかいろんな事務所とかをサポートして助けていく。これはコンピューターだとなかなか難しい。
So community-based interpretation or translation requires human contact, and also which is the area is not easily covered by AI or Zoom translations.
そんな他のこともいろいろやりながら模索しているところです。
So this is how we, as foreign language scholars, have been exploring this area of the interdisciplinarity.
つまりテクノロジーをどうやって我々が考えて、それからコントロールしていくかっていうのはやっぱり考えなきゃいけない課題かなと思います。
So it is important to think how we the combination control how we manage the technology and the relationship between the technology and science and interdisciplinarity.
Thank you very much again. We have some more minutes. There's some questions or comments from the floor. We have 5 minutes more. Indeed. Well, let me just one question to Professor Lipiello and Professor Ishida, because we talk about interdisciplinarity, but in your field is important interculture. What about the new technology for intercultural exchange and evaluation? Very short answer, please. 1 minute. Because we appreciate that Japanese and Italian culture comes from very different background, but you talk about cuisine and about food, and we have a long tradition in different way to.
Yeah, cuisine or gastronomy is a bond,
yes.
Between two different cultures. So also our activity of pizza napoletana is very working well now, because this is food for everyone. I think there is nobody that hate it. So
okay.
And the food is very important.
It's natural, transcultural.
Esatto, cioè per scappare ogni cosa si mangia comunque. Questo è il concetto.
We like it Japanese indeed, and you like it Italian.
Yeah, tutte e due.
Okay.
Very shortly, because it is late, I think the question is a very good question, because I think we have to go through the languages, but it is important to know the cultures. And it is a pity that you said that Italian literature is not so well known. I know that Italian is a very important language here, but it is studied only because of the music and because it reminds music and art. And I know there are many people studying Italian, but not the students. So I just wanted to say that to learn Italian and Italian culture is a way also to know Italian technology, how developed are Italian institutes and universities in cultural heritage, but also on sciences and technology. And I think we Italians don't want to be famous only for food and football, you know?
Okay. Okay.
Thank you
very much. Applause to our panelists. Thank you very much.
Grazie mille.
Grazie. Okay. So now we can move to the second panel, which is on quantum science and technology. I invite Professor Francesco Priolo, who is the rector of University of Catania, and Professor Nishi Miyoki, director of Kagra Observatory Institute of Cosmic Ray Research, the University of Tokyo. Okay, the second panel is devoted to the frontier of science, indeed, and probably also the frontier of scientific research that will enter in the future in our home, changing our life with technology, indeed. So I'd like to invite Francesco Priolo for his first speech. He's on the National Quantum Science and Technology Institute, which is one of the large national projects in Italy. Please, Francesco.
Thank you, and thank you, everybody. It's really a pleasure to speak in front of all of you and to the Japanese colleagues. Well, as all we know, actually, this year is 100 years from the starting of quantum mechanics. In 1925, Werner Heisenberg wrote his famous paper. So this is an important anniversary for quantum mechanics. And in fact, in the last 50 years, I think all the innovation we have today depend on quantum mechanics, starting from communication to microelectronics, to all, the electronics that we do have. That depends on the nano world, on the capacity of controlling the nano world, and that is actually ruled by quantum mechanics theory. But now we are in front of a new revolution. And the new revolution is quantum technology, which is actually the fact of controlling directly the quantum states and have a new science from that. In Italy, President Giannantuoni said that we have many different projects, and one of these projects has been called National Quantum Science and Technology Institute, which is a next generation EU project linking together as a diffuse institute on quantum science and technology, many different centers in Italy working as a single, as a whole. So you collaborate with the whole institute and you collaborate with the best of the best that we do have in Italy. And the aim is to start working on low TRL, so technology readiness level, to bring this at high level to have innovation. If we have the next slide, so the point is, next slide please, prossima. we start from quantum research, but of course, one important part is outreach and education, because we need to educate around and let quantum technologies be known at the great public. International programs, so that's what it's important for us, collaboration, and the Institute is open to international collaboration. There are still links with Japan, and we'd like to strengthen these links. And then startups and collaboration with both small, medium enterprise and industries. Next slide, please. Just to let you know the national level of this institute. This goes from the very north, you see, from Trento down to Catania, where I'm located, and passing through Milan, Florence, Pisa, Rome, and so on and so forth, Pavia, Camerino, and Naples. And, well, you can see that in each of the different places, there is a kind of specialization. So, I mean, if you want to build a complete system, that is done in Trento, or as far as photon-based platform, that is in Sapienza in Rome, and cold atoms, that is mainly in Florence, and so on and so forth. If we have well, one other point, just to give you the old point, the budget is more than 100 million euros, and there are more than 500 scientists involved. So altogether, that's the critical mass, and that's the kind of collaboration altogether that is done. If we have the next slide, next slide, please. In the next slide, there are also different specialization regarding building. There are fabs that are in there. So if you want a superconductor quantum technology fab that is in Naples, for instance, or again, as you can see, semiconductor quantum technology fab that is in Pisa. In here, all of this network, these fabs are open for collaboration, so can be open also for international collaboration. And all of this center, I'd like to underline that it's strongly linked also with one important ecosystem, which is located in Sicily, in Catania, in my place. It's an ecosystem on micro and nanotechnologies, and this ecosystem in micro and nanotechnologies that is linked also with several industries and universities is interacting directly with this quantum technology center. Next slide, please. So here is just a list of potential applications that we are bringing together, which go from, as you can see, from aerospace, quantum navigation, to telecommunication, secure and ultra-fast communication, going, of course, to finance and banking against fraud, for fraud detection. Well, and that's almost all. That's the last, well, let's show the last slide, where there are the links for contacts. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Francesco. And now the floor to Professor Miyocchi.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a physicist on gravitational physics, so I would like to concentrate on the importance of quantum technology in the gravitational physics. And actually, the optical quantum techniques to surpass the standard quantum limit is a key technology in the present and future gravitational wave detectors. And gravitational wave detectors such as LIGO, Virgo, and Kagra aims to detect the small distortion of space-time caused by the astronomical events like black hole mergers and neutron star mergers. But unfortunately, their sensitivity is fundamentally limited by the quantum noise, which arises from the quantum nature of the laser used in the interferometry. And actually, the standard quantum limit defines the boundary where the trade-off between shot noise and radiation pressure noise constrains the measurement precision. Anyway, overcoming the standard quantum limit is quite essential to detect the weaker gravitational wave signals in the future gravitational wave detectors. And actually, several quantum techniques were proposed, and among the significant, important, are the squeeze light injection and quantum non-demolition technique, and the last is the speed meter. The first is the squeeze light injection, one of the most practical practical and widely implemented method is a squeeze light injection. Yes, and this idea was proposed by Professor Carl Cave in 1981. Anyway, in quantum optics, squeezing refers to reducing the uncertainty of one quadrature, such as momentum and such as amplitude and phase in electromagnetic wave fields, and at the expense of increased uncertainty in the others. And so, according to the, in accordance with the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. So by injecting appropriate squeeze vacuum state into the interferometers, so one can improve the sensitivity of the gravitational waves at high frequency range, especially. And the first real-world implementation of the squeeze light injection was demonstrated in the GO600 Hanover in Germany. And this marked a turning point. This shows the actual feasibility demonstration of the interferometry, quantumly enhanced interferometries. And subsequently, advanced LIGO and advanced Virgo introduced technologies, and into the adopted these technologies, and in the third gravitational wave observation, starting from 2019. But anyway, the second is also QND measurement, and the third is anyway the speed meter. They are also very attractive and implementation in the future gravitational waves, such as Einstein telescope in Europe, or hopefully in Italy, and the Cosmic Explorer in USA. But anyway, my conclusion is that the quest to surpass the standard quantum limit always driven the major innovations in the quantum optics and precision measurement. And actually, among techniques discussed, the squeeze light injection has already demonstrated in the improvement, substantial improvement and benefits in the current gravitational detectors. So I believe these technologies will collectively represent forefront of the quantum limited technologies and methodologies, and I think it will continue to play a very central role in the advancement of gravitational wave astronomy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So again, this panel is open for comment or question from the floor. Yes, please. May I give you the, okay, arrive the microphone.
So thank you. Just, I have two questions indeed. One is according to the different fields that are in quantum science and technologies, because innovation is part of deep tech, and supercomputing is probably not only computing and physics. So my first question is about the different fields of the scientists and researchers that should deal with this kind of topics. In my experience, not only scientists from physics or engineering, but also humanities. So the first question is, what about humanities in research for quantum computing? The second, just if I give a second one, is about the method. In the 60s, all these technologies were developed in super labs, in typically big companies, multinational companies. So what about this open innovation with universities and companies? So these are the two questions, not simple, but.
Want to start? Yes. Professor Miyake?
Okay, about the connection with other fields. Yeah, actually, the PhD students who studied in the gravitational physics actually became the assistant professor in the laboratory of quantum computing. So our field is now feeding many young researchers to such fields. Yes.
Now I'm DG of the KK, but I was professor of the University of Tokyo last year. So at that time, I take care of the quantum education at the University of Tokyo. So the University of Tokyo is not only the scientist, but also the for the quantum education for the literatures. Since in futures, more quantum becomes more basic technology. In this case, we need more necessary about of the law. So, and also we are something is also the economy business. I think maybe that this becomes more important. So the University of Tokyo has prepared for some lecture for the literature student, not for the scientist. Yeah. Scientist is just used for the quantums, but quantum is not only the technology, but also I think maybe the change the future ourselves. So I think maybe the education is very important. So we also collaborate about for the, not only the science, but also the education of the quantum becomes more important. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Professor Priolo.
Yeah, thank you. And actually, I do tend to agree with this last comment that I think is particularly important. I mean, as you know, Steve Jobs was saying that innovation is at the cross between humanities and technology. And in fact, as interdisciplinarity, the place where real innovation occurs. On the other hand, I mean, if we look at quantum technologies, of course, the technology part and the physics part should be done by specialists. And that's one point, and that's necessary. On the other hand, as you have seen, I showed that potential application go from healthcare, pharmaceuticals, and finance, and also agriculture. So if you actually go in the different fields, and then you need people from life science, and you need people from business school, law school, of course, and particularly if you want to have a startup and then make business, the field they are cross. If we look specifically at humanities, then, well, when you have an application to really understand if this will have an impact on society and what is the kind of impact, I think in that case, humanities do play quite an important role. Regarding the second question, if I got it right, regarding the small or the large collaboration, this is, no.
It's in the 60s, mainly the research labs were in multinational companies, IBM and so on.
Yeah, sure. Sure. Okay. Well, in that case, I mean, if we are talking about Watson Lab at IBM or Bell Laboratories, Lucent Technologies, or well, in that particular case, we actually had huge companies that had the attitude and also the interest and also the capability to say, hey, I do invest in a lab for basic research, but if once in a while I have one discovery which will have a strong application, I will win. I mean, in Bell Laboratories, there is a Nobel Prize for the 3K, so the background radiation of the universe. That's very, very basic, but there is the Nobel Prize for the transistor, so starting of microelectronics. But then if now companies look not at 30, 40 years, but look only at 5 years, that's going to be a problem. And I do think that unfortunately we are a little bit in this stage.
So if we want to have a provision about the future, because we are talking about future, when we will have something running on quantum technology?
Yeah, actually, I am a physicist, and the gravitational physics is quite fundamental physics, so it is not easy to contribute to the industrial society, but we are now doing is that producing a very talented student and researchers for the quantum computing fields. And actually, one graduate student became a researcher in the Japanese IBM quantum computing systems. So our field is strongly connected with quantum physics.
Okay, so it's not quando, ma quanto.
Well, in principle, never make a provision, because at the end, if you make prediction in some way, I mean, you are making promise, and then it is difficult. On the other hand, I do think strongly that in 20 years we will have changes, important changes coming from quantum technologies that will be pervasive and that will touch everyone.
Okay, see you in 20 years. Okay, thank you very much. Now we can conclude this panel. I want to thank the panelists. Thank you very much. And we are again in time, so we can move to the third and last panel. I want to invite, this is on environmental sustainability, sustainable food, energy of the future. Professor Matteo Lorito, who is rector of University Federico II of Naples. Professor Tatsuoki Kono, who is professor at the University of Tokyo. Professor Antonio Garofalo, who is rector of University of Naples Partenope. Then we have Professor Fabio Pollice, who is rector of University of Salento. Professor Alberto Castellazzi, Dean Faculty of Engineering, Kyoto University of Advanced Science, and Professor Francesco Cupertino, rector of Polytechnic University of Bari. Welcome, everyone, to this panel. Again, I remember that we have 5 minutes each for presenting your position, and then we will have the last debate from the floor. So I want to give the first speech to Professor Lorito. Professor Lorito will talk about on foods, research and innovation network on food and nutrition, sustainability, safety and security, which is one of the important national research on this area. Please, Professor Lorito.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for giving me the possibility to speak to you about on food. On food is a partenariate. It is a relationship between universities and companies as part, of course, of the great effort of Italy to support its research, its most advanced research. If I can have the next slide. Okay, those are the numbers of On Food. On Food is been funded by the National Recovery Plan by about 150 million. He also has financed 20 million in what we call cascade funding. It includes 26 organizations, university research centers, and companies. More than 600 people are involved in research on food. About 140 junior researchers being recruited. And also we have many, many different projects, over 350 projects that run in the on-food ecosystem. Next slide, please. What is the mission on food? To promote sustainability, both of food production and food distribution, but also to increase the adherence of population to a more sustainable food models, improve food and dietary quality, guarantee food safety for healthy population, both healthy population and vulnerable subjects, and finally to develop new and smart technology for more sustainable production, food production and consumption. Next, please. This is done by two major approach. One is an interdisciplinary approach on food, combines food science, nutrition, sustainability, biotechnology, circular economy, and also a human-centered approach where we actually study all the subjects of food science and technology, putting the person in the center of our attention. So looking at malnutrition, policy, global sustainability, food safety, and so on. Next slide. On food is basically an ecosystem of different projects run by different spokes. Spoke number one makes research around global sustainability for a fair food market for healthy citizens. Spoke 2, smart and circular food system and distribution. Food 3, food safety and of traditional and novel food. And Spoke 4, food quality and nutrition. Next, please. The last 3 involved lifelong nutrition, healthy diet for all, tackling malnutrition, and policy, behavior, and education. So you can see it's a very complicated research, very interesting, complex research environment. Next, please. Just to give an idea, if you just look at Spoke 5, which is one lead by my university, lifelong nutrition, a healthy diet for all, itself is actually comprised of different projects looking at early nutrition and personalized Mediterranean diet, promoting health and sustainability of Mediterranean diet, so lots of course of Mediterranean diet and so on. Next, please. And finally, we also doing quite a bit in terms of education and empowering future researchers on food production, food science. So I'd like to conclude to say that, of course, if you look at food systems in Italy and Japan, they have a very solid, very historical base. So it is absolutely natural for Italy and Japan to collaborate, both for food science, but also in terms of food tradition, gastronomy, and everything around food. And this is beside pizza, of course. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Matteo. The second speaker is Professor Tatsuki Kono from the University of Tokyo.
So, buongiorno, and piacere, mi chiamo Kono, and sono professore dell'Università di Tokyo. Is it okay? Thank you very much for inviting me. So I'm very honored to be here and present my latest result on the energy field for decreasing the CO2 emission. So my main research field are renewable energy and also the battery and hydrogen technology. I have been investigating the hydrogen technology over 35 years. I have a long history to develop the hydrogen technology. So, and I have a strong connection to the Italian side, and I am a visiting professor of the Polytechnic Milan. So I have a lecture of the environmental field in Polimi, and also we have a strong connection between the University of Tokyo Arcast and the University of Milano Bicocca. So we have the MOU in Como last year. So we have been developing the relationship between our university and the Bikoka. So, and this figure shows the energy for the future. So I have been investigating, evaluating the potential of the renewable energy and hydrogen technology and e-fuel and biofuel. So we have to decrease the CO2 emission. We have to select the renewable energy. As you know, the very, very serious blackout in Spain because of the large amount of renewable energy. Renewable energy has a very, very high fluctuation. It depends on the weather. So, and we wanted to install the renewable energy, we have to set the battery system and also the hydrogen system. We can choose the two routes. And, I have been investigating the green route, and the renewable energy generate the green electricity to input to the EV for the battery system and also the electrolyzer. My main research field is the electrolyzer. I collaborate with the Italian company and after and is located at the Pisa, and also and the green, we can get the green hydrogen by using the electrolyzer. And then, and the green hydrogen will be infused and the fuel cell vehicle, the Mirai, for example, the Mirai, and also and the blue line. So we can choose the green line and the blue line and the green line. So, and the blue line means the e-fuel. So it is a very, very important and a very difficult way to use the biofuel and also the CO2. The gray line, I think it's very, very difficult because the carbon capture process is not so good to gather and large amount of CO2. In future, and we can develop the, for example, DAC or any other and gathering the high concentration of the CO2. So now I'm concerned about what is the best way to improve and also achieve the zero CO2 emission until 2050. What is the best route? And green route, and gray route, and the blue route. Now I'm developing and to use the LC and any other method to evaluate this route. And so far, that's all. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Professor Kono. The floor is to Antonio Garofalo, who is rector of the University of Naples, and he talk Partenope, and he talk about Sustainable Mobility Center.
Thank you very much. Rector, estimated colleagues, distinguished guests, it's an honor to participate in the first Italian-Japanese Directors Forum and to present the University of Naples Partenope at such a pivotal moment of international academic collaboration. The National Center for Sustainable Mobility, CNMOST, involves 24 universities, the CNR, the 24 major companies, has the mission to encourage and support the development of modern, sustainable, and inclusive solutions for modern mobility. The areas and domains it deals with are many: air mobility, light vehicles and active mobility, waterborne transport, rail, and new fuels. The MOST National Center aims to make the mobility system greener as a whole and more digital in its management through lightweight solutions and electric and hydrogen propulsion systems, digital system for accident reduction, more effective solution for public transport and logistics, a new model of mobility, accessible, inclusive, and above all, sustainable. The mission of MOST National Center aligns with Japanese priorities in innovation and sustainability, aiming for a carbon-neutral society by 2050, while also fostering a circular economy and promoting sustainable technologies. Most national center activities on development of new green solutions about electric and hydrogen propulsion systems, digital system for accident reduction, more effective solution for public transport and logistics, and development of new models of mobility, accessible, inclusive, and above all sustainable, perfectly fit with Japanese key areas of focus, as for instance, carbon neutrality, where Japan has committed to achieving net zero emission by 2050, requiring significant advancements in renewable energy, energy efficiency, and carbon capture technologies. Sustainable technologies, where Japan is investing in research and development of various green technologies, including renewable energy source, energy storage, and smart grid solutions. Addressing climate change, where Japan is actively working to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, promote sustainable practice, and support international effort to combat climate change. Finally, Society 5.0, where Japan envisions a future where technology is used to create a sustainable and resilient society that addresses societal changes and enhances well-being. In the context that I briefly introduced, Japan's advanced technology expertise fits perfectly with Italy's strengths in circular economy, bioeconomy, and clean energy solutions. This forum allows us to best set up a virtuous exchange of best practice and to develop new joint initiatives. Let me finish by saying that our collaboration must go beyond academia. It must engage business, policymakers, and civil society and ensure tangible long-term impact. Universities have a duty to create real solutions that drive economic progress and environmental sustainability. I'm confident that this partnership between Italian and Japanese universities will become a model of excellence. By combining our strengths, we can pioneer solutions for a more sustainable and resilient world. I thank you, Lord, for attention. I look forward to shaping this collaboration together. Arigato gozaimasu. Grazie.
Thank you, Professor Garofalo. Now the floor to Professor Fabio Pollice, who is Rector of University of Salento, today on biodiversity.
Okay. For me, it's a great pleasure to be here. It is an Italian pavilion, but for sure with the Japanese colleagues, because since I was young, I love this country. So for me, it's really an honor to be here with you. So my speech starts not from what we do, but why we do, because we have a big problem in Italy and in my region. The University of Salento is located in this peninsula called Salento, and it's a wonderful peninsula, famous for the sea, for the culture, for Baroque styles architecture, but for sure famous for the landscape and for the olive trees, our treasure. But unfortunately, in 2013, it started an infection of bacterium, Xylella bacterium, from Gallipoli in the east of Salento. And in less than 10 years, this bacterium destroyed all the olive trees in our region. You have to imagine that millions of olive trees were destroyed by Xylella. So our landscape was destroyed. And the problem is not just the economic impact of in our region, but even the environmental impact and for sure a cultural impact, because the identity of my community is related, linked to the olive tree and the olive economy. So what I can say that there was a scientific evidence that there was a correlation between this infection and the low level of biodiversity. Because in this century, we destroyed with our agriculture, we destroyed our biodiversity. And this is a big problem. And we saw that the Xylella bacterium spreads more rapidly in area with a lower level of biodiversity. That's why we want to invest in a regeneration agriculture, and we have this plan to regenerate the environment with through regenerating agriculture. So we start to understand the correlation between biodiversity and agricultural development. So our research last years was to invest in understand how we can invest in biodiversity. And of course, we try to diversify our agriculture and for sure developing new technology and new practices, agricultural practices. That's why we decided to enter in this National Biodiversity Future Center. This is one of the most important 5 research centers in Italy, created by the program Next Generation EU. That's why now we are a part of this project, and we are investing in this demo center, because we understand that the problem is not just to develop technologies, but the most important thing is to involve communities, local communities. And I know here we are in the wonderful Expo, and what I saw yesterday is that every pavilion is focused on the environment and biodiversity. That's why I know that this is the right place to start a collaboration with the Japanese universities, because you are involved in the same topics with the same tasks. That's why we have to collaborate. So I hope that today we can talk about our research activities, but more, we have to talk about our collaboration opportunities, what we have to do to invest in enhancement of our collaboration between Italy and Japan, because we know that the collaboration between our 2 countries starts from the collaboration between our university system. That's why our university system is here in Osaka, because we want to enhance this collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you, Fabio. Now the floor to Professor Alberto Castellazzi, who is Dean of the Faculty of Engineering at the Kyoto University of Advanced Sciences. Please.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation, and nice to meet you to everybody. It is a pleasure to be here. So the university I represent is a brand new university. It was launched about 5 years ago, and it aims to be the first truly international university in Japan, where true international means that we aim for 50% Japanese, 50% international students. And the Faculty of Engineering was a pilot experiment. We have fully achieved the goals. We have now a bit more international students coming from about 52 countries all over the world. And in the academic population also we aim for a similar share. Right now we are at about 70% Japanese, 30% international. When we launched the faculty, I want to mention the very first 2 visiting researchers were 2 PhD students from the Federico II in Naples, from the Department of Engineering. That was a very successful first start of the relationship. A couple of years ago, we signed an MOU with the faculty. This year, we had a young academic stay with us for a couple of months. And to be able to implement these kind of exchanges, programs like the Erasmus Plus and the support that the Italian government gives to outgoing researchers and PhDs are fundamental. And we really hope to see more of these agreements at institutional levels between the 2 countries. Then about the specific technical topic that we are discussing, our university makes energy and in particular sustainable transportation a strategic line of research. We are working a lot on efficient management of existing energy resources. And you know, Japanese technology is probably leading worldwide. That is at least my opinion in semiconductors, in passive electronic components. So you can really do very interesting research. You can really learn a lot and get very interesting results. The framework we apply also for this research is through what we call Open Innovation Center. I think that is quite common in Japan. I'm not so sure about Europe. What the word open means in that case is that participation is open to private companies, the university, of course, institutional bodies. And we do have spaces where in the same office we have people from local governments, from the university, from private companies, working together and each representing their most important needs. And that ensures that the ideas we develop, the research we carry out, has got a very short time to commercial applications, to real-life applications. Thank you very much. Looking forward to this talk.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Castellazzi. And now the last on the floor is Professor Francesco Cupertino, Rector of Polytechnic University of Bari. And he talk about the Network for Energy Sustainable Transition.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I think we were even too much in time today. So the chairman asked me to take even more than 5 minutes. I hope to keep you at least awake during my speech.
Six is more than 5.
Okay.
6 is more than 5.
It's a pleasure being here today to participate to this first meeting in between Italian and Japanese rectors. As said, I'm the rector of Politecnico di Bari, which is one of the 3 Italian technical universities. We are based in the southern part of the country. And today I will talk to you about one of the extended partnerships that have been activated in Italy with the Recovery Fund. Many of the projects we have been listing today, they are grouped into 5 national centers and 14 extended partnerships. Each of them is focused on a particular topic. Specifically, the one I'm talking about, NEST, is an extended partnership focused on energy sector. The total amount of the funding is about 115 million euros. And in this project, we have 24 partners as founding partners. 15 of them are public entities, and 9 of them are private entities, companies, both small and medium enterprises and also large companies. We have 11 universities and 4 research centers involved. And after that, you have been already listening about the cascaded calls. We have a part of the funding that was redistributed outside the partnership by specific calls that were able to let other partners to enjoy the project. So the overall dimensions of the project involves more than 50 partners, and I do believe close to 1,000 researchers overall in Italy involved in such activities. We have the project organized into 9 spokes. Each spoke is focused on a specific technology inside the energy field. The first of them is regards solar applications, both concentration solar and photovoltaics solar application. Is something related to the energy sectors. We do both have cutting-edge research activities because there's a lot to improve in such a field. But we have also feel that it is very close to practical application. As I do believe all of you know, the cost of renewable energy, specifically in particular the solar energy and the wind energy, is competitive with respect with traditional energy sources. So we are in between practical applications and cutting-edge research. For example, if we move to the second spoke that is focused on energy harvesting and offshore wind production, also in that area we have a lot yet to be done in the research field, but we also are very close to the practical application. I was reading just this morning about the intention of the Japanese government to push on offshore wind plants. We have common problems because of the depth of our sea. Both in Italy and in Japan, we have no shallow waters around the countries. So we have to look at the possibility of having floating platforms to install offshore wind farms. There's something does not exist, at least not in large power sites, but that's something that could exist in a range of 5 to 10 years from now. And that could be something we could really engage together, because I do believe both our countries have critical technologies. Professor Castellazzi was mentioning about the Japanese leadership in power electronics and other things like that. We have a tradition also in construction. My region it could be a place in which we have the capabilities of production steel. We have the capabilities of producing wind generators. I do believe we both have universities and companies based in Italy and in Japan that could be a bridge in between our countries on such a field. But since I do not want to exaggerate with my 6 minutes, I try to be faster. Yeah, okay. Give me, when you are really bored, please raise an hand. Then after that we have the other spokes, for example, are focused on other key technologies like the bioenergy and the biofuels. We all know that we are doing towards electric propulsion, but in many fields it will be not possible to move completely to electric, so we have to spend some effort in developing more sustainable fuels. Then, of course, we have a spoke focusing on clean hydrogen. That is another key solution to make it more compatible, the traditional power generation solutions with the new and the wind generation and the solar generation solution. Then we also have spokes focused on energy conversions and energy storage. And then we have the transversal spokes that looks to smart sector integration, the final use in the optimization, and also the materials. Materials is a key point in the field of energy, both with respect to the solar, for example, application, but also if we want to give a contribution to the possible application of nuclear fusion. Most of the problems are related to the particular materials you need to withstand the temperatures at that specific application. Then, summarizing, we are spreading all over technology readiness levels, starting from very low technology readiness level when we talk about materials for nuclear fusion, up to TRL levels very close to the practical application. What have we done so far? Of course, we have been focusing a lot on the quality of the research we have been doing. We also have done policy advisory. We have collaborated with the national and local government in order to consult them with the policies, for example, for the authorization of the offshore wind plants. We have done talent development. We have been recruiting more than 300 young researchers that are now working inside our universities, and that could be a medium to to improve, to invest on our collaboration, because if we find a way of founding common research, such people could be the ones to move in between Italy and Japan to give power to our possible cooperation. And then to go towards the conclusion, what we want to do next. First of all, we want to expand our ecosystem. We are searching for other partners, both in Italy and abroad. And we are looking at the strategic fundraising capabilities. As we all know, the Horizon Europe, which is the largest publicly funded project all over around the world, is going to accept more and more projects, including Japanese partners. And I think we have to take the most of such an opportunity to involve you in the applications that can start inside our universities to try to get together financial support. We also, of course, we are looking at the possibility of translating the results of our research to the market in order, and to do that, we are trying to talk as much as possible with the private companies, mostly the larger company. And at the same time, we are looking at the small and medium enterprises. I think we have quite similar systems in Japan and in Italy. In Italy, almost 90% of private companies are small and medium enterprises. We are encountering difficulties in helping them to increase their size. And as it was already been said before me, we have to push on innovation. Innovation is the key of growth, as President Ian Antoni said at the beginning of this ceremony. And is it true for a university, is it true for a country, is it true for a private company? And we have to help small companies to innovate in order to compete at international level. And to do that, we have to push on startup companies, we have to push on our research becoming entrepreneurs. And I think that's another field Professor. We could do something together, and that's all. Thank you very much for your attention.
Professor Cupertino.
That was...
No, because
next time you will ask me to talk a little more, you will be more prudential, you know.
This morning, before starting, I've been aware about my problem that was to stop the speaker. And no one, everyone was doing time. So I asked him to talk more so I can stop it. So it's a pleasure. Stop at least one. So thank you very much, Professor Cupertino, again. So now the panel is open for question, comments, discussion from the floor. I break the ice, of course. My question is given again to every one of you who want to give an answer. It is about the word sustainability, because it's something that is in your talk. And sustainability is not a research topic. Sustainability is a field of application of new knowledge for the progress, for the future which is present, of course, not more future. But the question in my mind is that normal to have an impact with sustainability project is to convince both the policy to adopt political, let me say, laws and constraints in order to be effective. And the second, to have the partnership of the population, of citizens, that to change the way of life in many cases in order to be more sustainable. Which is your because in every of your presentation there is some suggestions, some aims to modify, to transform our way of life in order to be more sustainable. But which is the market for that? So someone can. Matteo, what we eat?
What we need. I mean, sustainability is a very used word, very abused word. In order to have sustainability, you have to do at least two things. First of all, you need economic sustainability. If you don't put resources, if it's not convenient, if it's not a business, it's needless to say you will never reach anything really sustainable. Second thing is you have to demonstrate sustainability to the people. People have to understand that if you do something in a sustainable way, it's you do it in a better way. If you look at the food production, food quality, and so on, it is obvious today that you get sustainable food. It's a choice, but it has to be a choice. There have to have some good reason for it. There could be national identities, could be quality of food, could be better food for all. There are many different ways of doing that. But if you don't put resources, if people don't have more food of better quality available, you will never really reach sustainability. So sustainability is complicated, but is the only way to go. And I think my feeling is that the people are really changing their mind. I mean, I don't want to say that the normal people go to buy their food thinking about sustainability, but more people think about that when they buy food, when they consume food. And most of all, and I don't want to take all the time, the most important things, if you talk about food, that we have to understand when we buy something to eat, there is a hidden cost. When we go to, I don't want to say a famous brand of hamburger, to buy that hamburger costs €1 or €2. The cost of that burger is not €1 or €2. There's much more cost than that. We have to know that this cost is something we all of us pay. So as long as we make the people understand that, aware of that, then we're already making a little bit of step towards sustainability.
So it's a question of education.
Education and showing demonstration to the people. That's very important. And I must say, if you think about Italian and Japanese, I would say, tradition about food product. Italy and Japan are two really major players of food quality in the world. I mean, we're not really aware that Italy is a major player. When you talk about Italian food outside, you're talking about quality. And same things as Japan, is quality and tradition and so on. This is real important. But today, to think that you can have the same quality without a sustainable production is impossible to do that. Sure. So you have to demonstrate that. You have to build demonstrator, you have to build great research project, like I've talked today about On Food. On Food is complementary with the Agritech National Center. Altogether, we're talking about almost 500 million investment in research. We never see that amount of money in them. But now, in Italy, you have a subject where you can talk to anyone from outside the country, from a company you can talk to, and they'll have 30, 40 universities and research centers available to put their technology and to show that you can do new things in a sustainable way.
Professor Pollice.
Yes, the demo center in Lecce, it's a project related to this problem. In fact, it's an immersive path to explore biodiversity, why it's so important to preserve biodiversity and to enhance biodiversity. That's why it's a project of our university and all the partners to involve young generation and, of course, young people and key actors in our territory. That's why it's so important, this project. But for sure, if we want to promote a sustainable development, we have, first of all, to involve people and communities. That's why, for example, in Lecce, we create a school of place telling. It means a school that try to help people to rethink about their identity and the identity and related to the food, for example. So I was thinking that probably we have a great common past and our future, Japan and Italy, about the garden, the culture of gardens. No? There's wonderful gardens I saw here in Japan. So we have the same feeling about nature, and so we have to build on this culture a new culture of sustainability. So I think that it's so important. Perhaps we have talked about before about the relation between technology and culture. So we have the same problem. We have to use culture and we have to innovate in the culture to develop a sustainability project.
Education of people. And about the use of the production of energy, Professor Kono, Because we understood that you're studying about different way to go to production, and this is a policy question, of course.
Yes. And so my driving force, we got a very big disaster in the March 11, 2011 in Tohoku area, and a very big tsunami and earthquake. So, and now I still live in Sendai in the Tohoku, and I already contributed to rebuild and redesign the community in the Tohoku area, including the energy system and food and any other system, for example, and water. And then we have to set the renewable energy for disaster. So under disaster, so now my dream, I would like to set the independent energy system and food cycle. So, and for the environmental sustainability. And right now, so in Japan, we have a very good chance to test this and sustainable society, small size society, including the energy and the food and water. So now I'm contributing to set the very small size and a very big size of the city size and the community size. Yeah. We have a very big, very difficult to set my dream. So I think not so, and not only in Japan, but also in Italy. Italy has a very small villages and a very small community. So I would like to export our technology from Japan to Italy, I think.
Thank you. Professor Garofalo, about how to save energy.
Yeah, I mean, energy is a big matter, but if I should find two words about sustainability and all the matters related to energy and whatsoever environmental stuff are altruism and externalities. Altruism, because if we are not, it means that we don't care about next generation. If it is the case for academia, there is a duty to create real solution. As I said before, in trying to find connection between Italy and Japan, carbon neutrality, sustainable technologies, addressing climate change. And as Fabio said, if we look around all countries, the matter of sustainability is the main point. If this is the case, then there is a matter of externalities in the sense that if we behave and act as sustainable countries, then we produce positive externalities. If we do not, we create so-called negative externalities, which is not, something good for us and bad for them, but it's bad for all of us. So it's better to take care of everything.
Thank you. And now, Professor Castellazzi, I'd like to understand that if you have some programs for both foreign and Japanese students about these topics that put together production, saving, quality, and future.
We try. So as I mentioned, we have sustainable transportation as one of our strategic line of research. That is a university-wide enterprise. And the keyword I always connect to sustainability is awareness. Awareness of the way we use energy, being aware of what amount of energy we are using when we do something. It can go from using our cell phone, laptop to driving a car. And that, of course, goes through education. So education is extremely important, but it also goes through technology. So it's very easy nowadays to have real-time monitors of most actions we are doing and the consequences of that. So yeah, it is definitely something we incorporate in the teaching we do, and it helps a lot to have an international community of students because, Japanese students are accustomed to a very high standard of living, already a very critical society, very self-aware. They take their time when they need to make a decision. In other countries, in particular in Southeast Asia, things are very different, and they have much stronger needs associated with sustainable energy provision.
Thank you.
If I can mention one last example, this is a kind of question to Professor Kono. There is a big difference, for example, in electric and hybrid transportation between China and Japan. Japan, of course, has got the most advanced technology, but they are still relying mainly on hybrid, whereas China is going fully electric. And I think there might be multiple reasons for that. It is
right now, so that very high. China has a very high technology about the hydrogen technology. Hydrogen technology already transformed from the EV to the FCV right now. So, and most and large and hydrogen refueling station has in China. So I'm so surprised. So what and I. For 2 or 3 years ago, so the China policy already changed from the electricity to any other CO2 emission material, for example, and hydrogen or e-fuel. So
it is more aligned.
More, yeah. Yes, now on the transition stage.
The last for a very short in this case answer. Because you're rector of a technical university, so probably the relationship with the companies is more strong than in normal universities. So what about the interest of companies in being more sustainable and looking for research, for new knowledge to be applied in the investment and so on? In your opinion?
I don't want to be rude, but the interest of companies is making money. And that's a good thing. And open innovation, the thing was being told by Professor Castellatti, is a way of reducing the risk in the investments. So the interest of the companies that they are willing to share the risks of innovation. Going back to energy, we have a target that is zero emission. There is no other target. We have to reach zero emission. We do not have the technology to have today zero emission. We have many technology. Some improvements can be made by the technology we have, but we already know that we will need technology that we do not have today. Then you need to innovate. You need to give opportunities to young researchers because it will not be us to discover the new technology, but it will be the students, maybe some of the ones who are helping the Italian pavilion today or that are in our universities. And you need larger investments that can be done only putting together the efforts of public and private partners.
Okay, thank you. There is one question from the floor. We are in time. 5 minutes before, so I want to wish you a fantastic future, and I want to thank everyone for being here today. Thank you.
We could take a picture. We could take a picture all together. Since we have a couple of minutes.
Okay. No, Professor Lorito.
Matteo.
Siamo qui per una foto di gruppo.
Marina.
Only one communication for all of you. Now we will prepare a light lunch here on behind the seats. So we will take off maybe some lines of seats. You can stay here and have a light lunch. If you need more like coffees or anything else, you have the bar beside, and you can go out from this side near the auditorium and come back later. We start